Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining me for this very important session on balance. While we're waiting for some other people, let's do a little balance exercise. You can be right there in your chair. And what we're going to do is find our balance. So lean back, notice what muscles are keeping you from falling back. And then lean forward. And there's some muscles that are keeping you from falling forward. So go between forward and back. And as you do, what you're doing is you're going right through center. So we are in alignment with gravity, and that is one of the essentials in maintaining balance, knowing where we are. Now, what's complicated is that all day long, not only are we moving forward and back, but we're also using our arms. So we're balancing and juggling all of these all day long. Close your eyes a minute and lean forward and back and feel when you are in alignment with gravity, when it's least difficult for you to hold yourself up. So if you lean very far forward, you'll feel those muscles that are holding you. If you lean very far back, you might feel it in your gut. Good. Now come back to what you feel is center. Open your eyes and let's try this exercise. Bring your arm out to the side and notice the effort it takes to hold your arm there. Bring your arm up overhead until it's effortless to move it, or to hold it there rather. If you move it a little to the side, you can feel it takes some effort, but there's a sweet spot. All day long, we want to be in that sweet spot. We want to be in alignment with gravity. Here's another exercise we can try. Getting up and sitting down. So usually we do it just like I did it, unconsciously. But a lot of times when we get up, we use our shoulders and neck. And our shoulders and neck don't help us get up. It's our legs. So create a tripod base with one foot and the other. Bring the weight of your body right to the center there. And then push up with your legs. Same going down. Put eyes in your butt. And you can lean forward, better not to crouch, better just to lean from the hip. Find that tripod base and then use your core muscles. So let's try it again. Actually, let's switch legs. So create a tripod base, 1, 2, 3. Find the center of that. And this is a good way to find, okay, what is alignment? Because I can't really get up. Try this. You can't get up over here. You can't get up over there. You have to find alignment. So find alignment and then lift yourself up. Good. All right. You can stay seated a moment because I want to show you some things on PowerPoint. And welcome, everyone. I recognize some of you. I'm glad you're back. Good to see you. Thank you. All right, so I have a PowerPoint to share on our subject today. Build better balance. Today, we're going to go over what I feel are essentials that have been lost, that are not taught in many programs. Many programs teach you about strength. And while strength is important, there are some other things like flexibility that are equally important. Why is this important? It's important because we want to prevent falls that lead to injuries and lead to pain. Also, because we hold an unconscious tension in our body and fear, and that actually makes things worse, makes us fall even more. We want to improve our sense of stability and grounding, that we are placed here in our body on this planet, and it helps us to build confidence to stay active lifelong. So that's incredibly important. The thing you need to ask yourself, close your eyes a minute and ask yourself, what happens when I lose balance? Perhaps there's an image that comes to mind. Perhaps it's similar kind of accidents each time, similar kinds of falls. Perhaps you're aware of holding tension in your body because you're afraid of falling. Okay, and opening your eyes. When I ask a lot of people what happens when they fall, they often say, I didn't see it. I didn't see the rock on the ground, or I wasn't aware of what was happening. I was thinking, I was in my mind, and I wasn't aware. So awareness, especially visual awareness, is one of the most important exercises that we're going to do in a few minutes. Number 2, postural alignment. We began with that earlier, and I'll show you another exercise for that. 3, hip flexibility. When we go up and down stairs or up and down any uneven terrain, we need that flexibility in our hips so that if something happens to one leg, we always have a leg to stand on. So our hips are, in a sense, kind of unlocked from each other and able to respond independently. 4 would be ankle flexibility. Think about it. All the weight of your body is landing right on those ankles. And when you lose that flexibility, you lose your responsiveness. Number 5 is a sense of building a stable base. We often undercut ourselves and don't put attention in that very simple concept of creating a good, wide, stable base. Here are the exercises we're going to do in just a few minutes. The first, for visual awareness, is the eye scan technique, where keeping your head level, you just let your eyes do the walking from far to near, to far, to near, back and forth. The next, for postural alignment, will be hip circles. The white line is our center of alignment. The dot is our center of weight. So we're moving our center of weight around our center of alignment. The next would be hip flexibility. Ability for our hips to work independent of each other. Ankle flexibility. And the last is to build a stable base by spreading the toes and making sure that we can use the whole part of the foot when we walk. Okay, let's begin. You're going to stand up for this. And first, let's start by shaking it out, shaking it out, shaking it out. Good. Now, you may not have quite as much runway as I do, but what I want you to do is to try this technique walking through whatever space you have. And the technique is to use your eyes to scan from about 5 or 10 feet ahead, all the way to as far as you can in the room, and then back again. And continue till you're pretty clear what's happening on that trail. Then you can turn around and turn your head and enjoy where you are, get a sense of where you are, and then back again. In fact, your brain will say, I need more information, look again. So that's what we're going to do right now, eye scan technique. We'll start it by first lifting tall. And as our arms come down, our head is level. But looking down with our eyes, we can scan the path from near to far. Then lean forward on your ankles and begin walking. Scan as you are walking. Then allow your head to pivot around, look at where you are, and then come back to your scanning technique. Good. Stand a moment, close your eyes, and sense yourself in space. You've just walked the room and you're probably very familiar with it. So even with your eyes closed, I would like you to sense as if you could picture what's in front of you, to the sides of you, and behind you. Take, even with your eyes closed, if you feel safe, a couple steps forward, a couple steps back, and sense 360 degrees all the way around you. See if you can imagine that you have eyes in every part of your body. And the same with your hearing. So sensory awareness and awareness of your environment is absolutely primary for keeping from falling. Good. And now open your eyes. Let's move on to the second one, which is alignment. So would you move from one side to the other and notice that you're keeping yourself from falling over to the other side? So you're counterbalancing something. If I want to go further, I would even put an arm out. So I'm counterbalancing. So all day long, we are forward and back. We are counterbalancing our weight. Try it with an arm. And notice the flexibility you need to be able to do this. All the joints are working. And if they're not, come to my morning class. So get everything moving and working. And you can still have that 360-degree awareness of yourself in space. Good. And now come back to that center of alignment. You can turn right around the center of alignment. Let's go back to the walking technique. you're going to use your eye scan. And when you get to the end of where your room is, your walkway is, what you're going to do is you're going to turn right around that center of alignment. So make sure you have 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, sense where that center is, and turn right around it. Got it? Let's try it. So here we go. Let's lift first. That always feels so good. Good. Arms come down. Good. Put your eye scan technique in place. And notice in the dynamic walking technique that I teach, we lean slightly forward from the ankles. And that gets your ball of energy rolling. Now, as you lean, your head is going to be already looking down just a little bit more. So here you go. Shift over to 1 foot, lean forward, use your eye scan technique. And when you get to the end, pivot around your center of alignment. Eye scan technique. Pivot around your center of alignment. Make sure you have a different foot forward. And you can do it easily on either side. Good. How's that feel? You know, it's only in the last 200 years that we walk on cement. Before that, it was always uneven terrain. And what uneven terrain does is it allows your body to have a vast amount of sensations. It's called proprioceptive feedback. All of the feedback from your joints as to your orientation in space. So as much as you can, try to walk on some uneven terrain. And barefooted is even better. Here's what happens. When we walk on uneven terrain, our hips are able to work independently. I'm sure you've seen people walk around and their hips are glued together. You don't want that. You want your hips to be able to work independently. So you could put something on the floor right now if you want to, and try that. Because when you go down a stair, similarly, you want to drop a hip. You want a high hip and a low hip. And I'm going to teach you that exercise right now for independent hip action. High hip, low hip. So you will bend at the hip, otherwise your back is flat, hands on the inside of the thigh, and you're going to lift a heel and a hip. And then the other side. Good. And now you'll do one side and then the other. Now, if you can, leave your heels down and just lift your hip. And this is the basis of all Latin dance. In fact, many countries use independent hip action. Can you go up and down? You probably can go forward and back. So this allows your hips to be very responsive to uneven terrain or to surprises. So a leg drops out, but you still have another leg to stand on. Good. Next, let's go to ankles. So come up onto the forefoot of 1 foot and imagine that the knee is touching every minute of the clock all the way around. and other direction. Now you can bring this all the way into the hip. Now I always begin teaching this exercise with this leg first, because this ankle does it much better than the other. And you may find that too. So circle as much as you can. Got much better, but not as easy as the other side. You have that? Now, why is this important? Well, not only is it important to have responsive hips as well as responsive ankles, but when you lose ankle flexibility, then your walk gets very, very old. And you're not able to create, let me check the time here. Okay, good. And you're not able to create a heel-toe roll. So what I'd like you to do now is put one hand up and the heel of the other hand right here. And then from the heel, I'd like you to go to what would be the forefoot, base of the toes. And then I'd like you to go to the fingers and then back again. So this is, with the hand, analogous to the heel-toe roll. Now, many people, when they walk fairly flat-footed or heel, and then forefoot, heel, forefoot, heel, forefoot. Can you see how much smoother this is? It's a better ride all the way up the spine. Try it on the other side. Heel-toe roll. Imagining a heel-toe roll. Good. You need your ankle flexibility for that. But what you also need, spread your fingers. You need to be able to spread your toes. Many people, when they walk, since we are prehensile creatures and are able to grasp, we actually grasp the ground. And that can be the reason to have bunions here, because you're constantly pulling the toe over. You don't, and we've been able to help eliminate those. So people have, by using the method we're teaching, which is to spread the toes. So do it in your shoes if you have shoes on right now. Spread your toes. Okay, here we go. Come back on your heels, lift your toes, go to the midfoot, and then go to the forefoot. And what you'll find is that your arms will naturally counterbalance. That's the weight we talked about before, maintaining balance. So heel-toe spread roll, heel-toe spread roll, heel-toe spread roll. Good. Let your arms drop. In fact, letting your arms swing can create the heel-toe spread roll for you. We're going to put this in to the walking exercise that we've done. Okay, so here we go. We'll start with a shirt pull. We call this shirt pull as if you're pulling off an old body, an old shirt, and lifting tall, staying tall, even as your arms come down. How about if you bring your shoulders up, down, and back? Because if the shoulders are forward, then you've lost your postural alignment. So our shoulders are back, eyes are at the horizon. Begin your eye scan technique. Lean forward from the ankle, shift onto one side, push off, scan, use your eye scan technique. Good postural alignment as you pivot around your center of alignment. Good. And use your heel toe spread roll. Good. And come back to center and notice how you feel. One more alignment exercise. Place your hands on your hips. Here's your center of alignment. Here's your center of gravity. And move your center of gravity around your center of alignment. You can also do it without your arms and let your arms go for a ride and relax. Take it in both directions. I'll start to take this around. Keep your feet wide and spread your toes so you have a good stable base. And here's the challenge. If you feel safe, close your eyes. Firm, stable base. Independent hip action. Flexible at your ankles. Awareness 360 degrees. And come back to where you think the screen might be. Open your eyes. Oh, there it is. Good. And shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. These are the exercises you want to use in order to keep yourself from falling and see how they do for you. Okay, so we know that balanced body in motion is essential and that it's important to make changes because they are not going to go away on their own. We limit our activity and move less due to pain. And that's not the path we want to walk in the years ahead. We want to maintain flexibility and we want to address these issues before they create problems. You need to safeguard your ability to walk lifelong. You want to stay independent and healthy. It is essential. It saves you a lot of trouble and it saves those people that would have to care for you a lot of trouble. So it's definitely a game of use it or lose it. Here's what you can do. Practice these exercises every day. Watch Balance Made Easy on our Dynamic Vitality YouTube channel. I'm going to show you how to find that. And my assistant Sammy is going to put some information in your chat also for you to use. Commit to improving your balance and posture. Nobody can do this for you. So commit to that. And if you would like support and help, we're here to help you. We have trainings, we have classes. Here is on our YouTube channel. So it would be dynamicvitality.com. On the top right, you'll see the YouTube icon. And then here you will see Balance Made Easy. Here's what the video looks like. It'll review some of those exercises. Because we know the benefits of walking include all of these great things. Improved mood, circulation, brain power, creativity, and decreased risk of major diseases. We keep our bones strong, our weight managed, we improve the function of all of our systems. Digestive and elimination are important there. Increase our energy, and we stay independent and free. I'd like to encourage you to join our dynamic walking program. I know some of you in the audience have done this. Thank you. Come and join us again. It is a fabulous program where you get to learn so much about your body and your ability to stay healthy and stay walking lifelong. And I want to thank you for joining me today, for putting this time in, for believing in yourself, for knowing that you can make changes, that you are young and courageous and vital enough and important enough to do this for yourself. You can live and age with dynamic vitality. Thank you for joining me. Have a beautiful day.